There's a good chance you're here because you're looking to buy the M1 MacBook Pro just like I did. And it is great, but I do have some regrets based off the last half year of use. So before you do make the purchase, let me give you 4 reasons why you might want to rethink buying the M1 MacBook Pro, and I might even save you almost £2,000. The first reason to consider not buying the M1 MacBook Pro is ports. Really annoying. This beast of a laptop with all of its crazy capabilities comes with 2 Thunderbolt 3 ports, that's it. Not including the headphone jack, so technically 3, but 2. I'll admit it does look kind of cool, kind of sleek, just having the lack of ports. iPhones are definitely moving in that direction, but it doesn't feel cool, if you know what I mean. It means that there's no room for a HDMI input, there's nothing for USB Type A, nothing for SD card. If you want to try and connect to a screen, charge the laptop itself, and then plug your iPhone in, you've already run out of ports. So you're going to need to buy a dongle, which costs a little bit and it sticks out the side and doesn't look great, which kind of defeats the object of having a sleek look in the first place. Although, unlike how iPhones have ended up, at least we still get a headphone jack.
The next thing we should talk about is upgradability, or not being able to upgrade.
This is the age-old problem of MacBooks. I remember maybe back in 2012 watching Lou from Unbox Therapy making the Super MacBook, where he was upgrading the RAM and the SSD and all sorts, making it really cool and jacked up. It was amazing. But of course, with the M1 MacBook Pro, you can't upgrade it. Once you've bought it from the store, that's it, that's all you're gonna get. Ideally, you'd hope with the new M1 chips, this will mean that you won't really need to upgrade it over time, but it would be nice to at least have the option. So in terms of priority, I would recommend buying as much RAM as you can afford, and then as much storage as you can afford. The thing with RAM is that once you've bought the laptop, you're not gonna be able to upgrade it because the RAM is stored on the actual M1 chip. Whereas at least with the storage, you can buy an external hard drive, or you can, I think there are maybe some dodgy ways that you can at least upgrade the hard drive. And then speaking of upgrading the M1 MacBook Pro on the actual website itself, this brings me nicely on to the third point, which is upgrading and even buying M1 MacBook Pros is really, really expensive. For me, it's the most expensive thing I've ever bought, and I can't see myself spending this much money on anything for a while. The base model is £1,300, and to get mine with maxed out RAM and a terabyte of onboard storage, you're looking at £1,900, which in dollars is about... I'm not really here to discuss whether or not it is or isn't worth it. I guess it depends on what your individual needs are, but it's bloody expensive, so it's worth remembering. There are payment plans if you need them. When I was in uni in 2012, I bought my MacBook Pro on a Barclays financing, and I think it was £1,000 spread over about 6 months, so it is doable. You can also get education pricing, and if you're able to write off as a business expense, and obviously you can write off VAT as well. The M1 MacBook Pro is really expensive, but there are 2 really decent alternatives. Based off the reviews that I've seen, the M1 MacBook Air is a very, very nice laptop, and it probably suits the needs of a good 80% of people. I reckon it probably suits my needs, to be honest. Maybe my laptop's a bit overkill, but I've got it now. It's had a really nice design update, and it's way nicer than the previous MacBook Air. So if you want to save £300, then obviously go and check that out. Or you can also look at the M1 Mac Mini as well, which starts at £700 and still performs amazingly, and also tucks away pretty nicely behind your monitor if you strap it to it, which I've seen people do online. It's pretty cool. The final reason why you might want to rethink buying an M1 MacBook Pro is, as ever with Apple products and basically any electronics at the moment, there are always new ones around the corner. The current 13-inch MacBook Pro, which I've got and which I'm talking about, is going to be replaced by a 14-inch version, and the 16-inch Intel one is going to be replaced by a 16-inch M1 version, and it's said to be a massive redesign, so you'll definitely get envy if you buy a new MacBook now and then you see these beautiful new versions on the market, so something to think about. So far, rumours suggest that the new 14-inch version won't be much bigger than the current 13-inch version, which is pretty nice, and the increase to the screen size is actually just going to come from reducing the bezels a little bit. 14 inches for a laptop screen is pretty big in 2021, so yeah, nice upgrade. And then obviously there's other really cool upgrades coming to the new lineup of M1 MacBook Pros, and they are the SD card slots making a return, which is nice. So is MagSafe, that would be good. The screen's going to be even brighter, the battery's going to be even better. The webcam is being upgraded from 720p in the current MacBook Pros to 1080p, which is a very nice upgrade and really necessary in the times that we live in now, working from home. And then of course, there's going to be the new M2 or M1X chip or whatever they're going to call it. And these will be available apparently by Christmas, if you can wait that long. So there you have it. I do think it's really important to look at both sides of the argument and give a pretty fair and balanced review. So go ahead and watch my video on why you should buy the M1 MacBook Pro here.
It is amazing, so I'd be interested to hear what you think. Cheers.